I like how they say this is your American debut, but...
No, it's not. It was the first film made in America. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime you're ready.
Well, we got to try and keep making it fresh and new at this stuff,
yeah.
you know,
You
the novelty
repackage,
aspect.
yeah.
You know, not her again aspect.
Maybe we could start off with, you know, what your initial attraction was to the character when they presented you with, or when you found out about the role. What was it that turned you on about her?
I don't know, not particularly about her, just the story. I loved the story. I thought it was classic black comedy, and that it was a true story really was great. As I read the script, I couldn't believe what kept happening. And because you were reading it knowing it's true, you think, oh, this got totally out of control. How ineptly they handled this. Why didn't anyone talk to each other? How can people just move to violence this way? And then it went so wrong. I mean, it just became hysterical. I thought, this is so funny. And then when Lawrence Kasdan was doing it, I thought, wow, there's a fantastic director, so he's going to do it as well as it could be done. The man doesn't make a bad film. And he assembled this astonishing cast. And it was great to be a part of it. It was the best fun I've ever had with a group of people.
Did you meet the woman whose part you were playing?
No, I didn't. Lawrence didn't want us to meet them. Kevin and I saw a tape of Francis and Tony Toto, and I think unconsciously I took in, do you say subconsciously or unconsciously? Does that mean I'm passed out, doesn't it? I took in more of her than I thought. I mean, because he's easier to read, you know. He's just, you know, you can see what he's like. He likes to talk, and he's, you know, a really sexy guy and all this. And she was quieter and, you know, and I thought, what drove her to do this?
And that's really...
Because she's not too verbal and, you know, she's a quieter sort of person, it's all inside, and she loves him so much.
Yeah, on the featurette tape you keep saying this is it's a challenge for you because British women are generally louder and more demonstrative, and you had to sort of key her down a bit. Where was the challenge? Okay, then I'll ask you then. Where was the challenge?
I don't think I said British women are more louder and demonstrative.
I thought you said... Anyways, well, where was the challenge in her for you? I mean, you are such a larger-than-life character in this. You had to sort of bring yourself down a couple of notches and be a little more low-key.
Yes, which we experimented with a few ways of playing it. I think if she'd been louder and demonstrative, she would have maybe challenged him, wouldn't she? And said, why do I've just caught you having these affairs with these women? I mean, she can't talk to him. She, you know, I wanted to be someone very honest and simple and real and plain American girl. And to do that, as I said, with my British, you know, accent, although I love doing American accents, it's something I've gotten pretty good at, hopefully. That was the challenge, is to make it very simple and real. And, you know, just go and look in a mall, you know, up in Tacoma, and I'd see these women with just plain mousy brown perms and little nylon car coats and linking arms with their mums and getting the groceries and, you know, very simple outlook on life. You know, they get the shopping, they love their husbands, they watch the TV. You know, it's so different from our lives in LA and New York and sophistication.
That was about as far away as you can get, I would imagine. With the accent, though, you know, I think of you and Bob Hoskins and how you guys are able to just kind of, you're such incredibly talented chameleons in that respect. Mm-hmm. How do you work? How do you work accents?
I can just do it, and I've lived here a little while now, so I do listen to everybody all the time. You know, I live in America. I had a wonderful voice coach on the film called Tim Monarch, who helped me enormously. He's helped Gary Oldham and I think Bob Hoskins and Emily Lloyd and people. And this is one of the hardest accents to do because it's very flat. We did Northwestern, which is very, very the plainest accent in America.
You sound like a Canadian.
Yeah, eat.
Now, when they presented you with the fact that Joan Plowright was going to play her mother, that's what I can't get over. I mean, the fact that you guys actually look like mother and daughter. Did that kind of, how did you...
Lovely. I was thrilled that Larry thought of that, because I've always been told I look like her. You know, articles in Britain that they wrote on, we would always start on, she walked into the room looking like a young Joan Plowright. So great. I've always been told I look like her. And when we met and started working together, you know, she's great. She put her arm around me and said, you're my daughter now. Oh, lovely. Do I have to call you Lady Olivia? She went, oh, no, love.
You didn't know each other before?
No, never bumped into her in England, though.
Why has it been so long? How many years ago was the last time you worked on a feature? It's been a few
plenty,
years.
84.
84. Yeah. Why? Why is it?
Well,
been
I had a
6 years?
baby. I moved here. I set up the television show that I do. And movies are very hard to find, the right movies. Movie scripts are really hard to find. It's like anything. It's hard to do my television show, you know. And I'm not a movie snob. I love TV. I love the medium of television, you know. And I've found a great niche in television. I'm doing good TV. And so it's not, I don't think, I must do movies, you know.
Explain to me how you actually got involved with the TV show. A lot of people would have only known in North America would have only known your feature, the 2 features that you'd worked on previous. How were you able to talk a network into, or how were you able to work at it with Fox to be able to air this show, which as has turned out is an award-winning program?
James Brooks took me under his wing. James L. Brooks, who had Mary Tyler Moore, he wrote Rhoda, Taxi, Lou Grant. You know, in terms of endearment, I mean, he writes his own ticket into television, and I was very fortunate for him to like what I do and he wanted to do a television show with me. He was the star of it initially. He is still, and we can bypass all that bullshit because of having James Brooks, which is great. And it was. I mean, they did a show on a network with someone you've never seen before, on a network that didn't exist, you know, a show that's never been done before on a network that didn't exist.
So he discovered you, he was over, or he brought you to North America?
Yep.
He just saw you on a program?
MTV discovered me in this country, I think. I owe a lot to MTV. I was a VJ for a while. I used to have a short-lived pop career. Yeah, Jim saw some tapes and said, all right, let's do a television show. Took a couple of years setting it all up, but I was absolutely thrilled. Couldn't be in better hands. And the network would go, who? And he'd go, I want to do a TV show with her. So you don't argue with him.
What's the key to the success of the show? I mean, it's been, is it 4 years old now?
Yeah, 3 years we've been doing it. I think will be our 4th season if we get picked up. I haven't been picked up yet. I don't know yet. Will I get 30 seconds in the middle of The Simpsons, we ask ourselves. This huge hit. What's the key to it? Bloody hard work, honesty, and the writing has to be, is good, and never making any compromises, and just fighting for it all the time, just fighting to never ever hear it slip into those patterns or phrases where you think, oh, I've heard this sort of joke before, this sort of rhythm, we've seen this style before, oh, people are comfortable with this. Never ever accepting that, just saying, we've got to try something different. And the minute we feel a bit bored or we're making compromises, you've got to stop, you've got to blow the studio up. Yeah, man, really anarchic. I'm talking like a valley boy here.
I'd like to talk about, just for a second, about, you know, the music and Paul McCartney. I would sort of think, what's your relationship with Paul McCartney? I know you worked on My Regards to Broad Street. That was your first feature film.
Yes, that was 1982 now. And I was making records at that time and got Paul to be in a video of mine, which was great. But no one in America believed it was him. It's like, hey, it's a Paul McCartney look-alike, man. Just like, here, you know, they wouldn't believe it was really him. He's been a very nice friend of mine for a few years now.
When it came time to do the feature, My Regards, he in turn scratched your back this time, I guess.
Well, actually, I did that film first, then he did my video.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
You returned the favor.
Yeah.
That's great. What's next for you? Feature-wise?
Well, as I say, I hope I do the show a bit more. I'd love to do a couple more years, a year or two more on the show, because it's just I'll never have this opportunity again to be so versatile. Always looking out for good stuff, good scripts. There's a lot of good actors out there looking for them too. Just to do good work, be honest, and work with great folk that I've managed to so far. And I'm doing the Shakespeare in the Park in New York this summer with Morgan Freeman, so that's a nice.
Is this your first go at Shakespeare?
Yeah, publicly, and that's one of the reasons I left England. I hate all that stuff, stupid Shakespeare, and now here I am in America thinking, well, you get to I'm 30 now, and you suddenly think, no, it's not so bad. Stop poking it like a teenager and get into it and learn something, you silly cow.
A lot of actors just thrive on Shakespeare. Keanu is doing Shakespeare now.
If you do it really well, some people do it really well, and you can understand what they're saying. And there's a lot of actors in England that I used to just drive me mad. So, prithee, my lord, holding hands, running around in apricot silk frocks, and It's all a load of twaddle. They don't know what they're saying, so the audience doesn't know what they're saying, so therefore Shakespeare becomes boring, and there you go.
And I guess finally, would you recommend anyone knock off their husband if they find him fooling around?
Oh yeah, great, just go for it, pal. Don't talk, don't have a conversation, don't go to marriage guidance counselling, just kill him, man. Oh, wow.
That's great. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.